Hi, I'm Sam, and this is RMR, Random Movie Reviews. And my main thought is with this, it's just going to be a random movie that's not like in any kind of like, it's not, it's its own thing. There's no like sequel, and if there is a sequel, it's like one sequel, right? So the goal with this is to do, say the movie I'm about to do today, which is Rubber, came out in 2010. And like, I'm not gonna go and do like Halloween because that's a franchise. I'll be doing that on the horror show if I say if I'm gonna do it, just whenever I get about that. So as I said, the movie I'm doing is Rubber for this one, and I'm gonna go about it a bit differently too than how I say I've gone about the horror show. It's like I try to have it's a dive. This is not really a dive, although maybe like one aspect of the movie I really like, or maybe like an aspect of the movie that the movie, like, what's it trying to tell you, right? But I'm not gonna go crazy on like, diving. Like, I dive into a movie if I'm doing it on the horror show, and I'm thinking if I wanted to deep dive, it's gonna be like a 30-minute video, or maybe 20 to 25, or maybe 30-minute video, where I like deep dive and talk about things I want to talk about a movie, or just information about the movie itself. But this is just a random movie, random whatever. It's gonna be 5, maybe 10-minute reviews. This one might be a little longer because this introduction's a bit long too. But let's talk about it. The movie is Rubber, and it's about, there's two aspects to the story, but if you were to go and watch, or if you were to go on IMDb and read the synopsis for it, it's basically about this tire that comes to life, and it starts running over stuff, and it's just a tire. It starts by running over inanimate. I say running, it like walks over. It's not like running over, it's not like, it's going over it, trying to crush it. It starts with inanimate objects like a bottle, or something like that, or a can, and then it starts being small animals like a rabbit or a crow, and then it starts going after people. It uses its mind, but like it's a tire. It's just sitting there and it starts going crazy, and then the like someone's head blows up, kind of thing. But there's another aspect of the movie that's also like a huge part of the story. That being, there's an audience that's watching the tire, and like they're specifically out there as if they're like watching a movie, but they're there a distance away watching it. And there's like two characters that are kind of like a part of the main story. It gives kind of like Cabin in the Wood vibes, except instead of making the horror movie, the people are trying to, I don't know why, well, I say I don't know why. There's this main aspect of the movie I'm going to talk about, that's the why, but it's not really a why, it's just an excuse, I suppose. And this audience, it's like, it's kind of like looking in a mirror, because there's like there's the nerds, and there's the girls that don't really want to be there, there's the kid that doesn't really want to be there. It's kind of, it's interesting how the movie went about it, but like the only way you could go and sit through and actually watch this movie is if you, and not given it's an hour 30 minutes long, but you have to be in the mood for it, because it is a bit boring. I mean, we're just watching a tire. I suppose it's very similar to In a Violent Nature, except in A Violent Nature you're following the killer the entire time. In this, it's kind of back and forth. Basically, anyway, the tire to the audience, tire to the audience. But yeah, let's talk about the main aspect of the movie that at least I want to talk about. That being, when the movie starts, there's a bunch of chairs, and there's this guy holding a bunch of binoculars, and then this car comes in, and there's all these chairs, right? And it's like trying to weave its way through the chairs, and then when the car is basically in front of the camera, the trunk opens, this guy comes out, and he stands in front of the camera, and he goes on this monologue about how how people, and specifically in movies anyway, people do things in movies for no reason at all. No reasons at all. And I guess the idea of this movie is this tire comes to life and it's just killing for no reason at all. But at least, I think it's a bit sarcastic, because if you were to actually go and think that you're watching a movie and then something happens, you're like, oh, that just happened for no reason. Like, I mean, things happen for reasons. I was talking to someone earlier about it, just, you know, not really much, it was just what I was thinking anyway. And it's like, you don't just, like, wake up and, you know, go to work for no reason. You don't just wake up and start playing a video game for no reason. You don't, drive to the movies for no reason. Like, you're going there for a reason. The example I gave him was an Austrian painter in the 40s didn't just invade Poland for no reason at all. I mean, there's a reason, there's always a reason. So it's, you know, it's just interesting how when you go and try to be open-minded in the sense of, okay, fine, no reason at all, let's watch the movie, and then it's effectively a lot of odd stuff that happens. It's like, that's really weird that it happened, but, you know, no reason at all. But, you know, it's kind of an experiment, and it's a fine one. I think it was pretty well. Now, my friend he was telling me to watch it some time ago, and I finally watched it. And he views it as like, it's like a movie, it's an A movie, you know. And I'm like, I can see why you would think that, but I guess I look at it and I think it's an experiment, kind of like how you watch in a Violent Nature or Skinamarink. Those are experimental movies where you're like, okay, it's like you're making a slasher movie, but there's a twist that's never been done before. It's still a slasher movie, but it's different because of how they're going about it. So this movie goes about it just being straightforward, being like, hey, no reason at all. That's why everyone's out here. That's why I'm here. Right. There's one scene, though, in this movie that I found hilarious, and I would spoil, I suppose, a bit. So these two guys are, you know, that are, like, there to, you know, be like, here, audience, here's a show. Ultimately, they're trying to kill the audience. And I guess it's for no reason at all. How they go about it is they don't give them any food. And then after a couple of days, they give them like a turkey, like a cooked turkey or whatever. And like everyone except for this one old guy starts going crazy, like tearing apart it. And you know, I guess the audience is kind of a critique on how the audience is now. You know, like, you know, you go to a movie and what do you want, right? Because it's like they were just going crazy, just picking it apart, you know, with their bare hands like they're animals. And it's like, well, what you go to like watch a movie like Terrifier 3. Why are you going to watch that movie? You're not going to watch it because it's some crazy story or the music drew you in. You're going there because you're an animal. You're going there because, oh, I love seeing blood, blood, blood. I mean, you can't tell me that this is like, I mean, I'm sure the story's fine. I know Clint Howard's in it, but now I'm talking about a different movie. This movie, you know, about the audience, it's like, hey, they're killing the audience for no reason at all, but the audience is very, you know, animalistic and very demanding, and, you know, I think there's a lot of truth to that, you know, for good reason or not. I think you sometimes need a really, on your case audience, because you're trying to please the people, and how do you go and please the people if you make a bad movie, you know, or an aspect of a movie is pretty bad, unless the big idea is you thought it would be good and it's not good, and now you're mad at the audience for not liking the product you put out there, but it's like you put out bad product. So I liked this movie. I liked how it ended. I thought it was a pretty interesting ending. But then again, I was like, you know, I suppose the ending was kind of the tire breaking out and breaking out the fourth wall. I think that's probably kind of what happened in this movie, because it's like the tire's trapped in a movie, and then when it kills the audience, it breaks out into the real world, and in like the very last shot of the movie, kind of like amplifies that because of what this shot is and where it's at, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm Sam. That's all I'm gonna say about this movie. I'm Sam. This is RMR. I did Rubber, Killer Tire. Would I ever watch this movie again? I might. It's an interesting movie. It's funny. It has some funny moments. You know what's hilarious? I was actually gonna say a funny scene that I liked in this movie, but I completely just, I went on that tangent about the audience, and yeah, that's pretty cool, because I just completely forgot about the funny scene. It was like, I remember it now. I don't know if I want to still say it or not, but there's a funny scene. I'll say it quickly, right? End of the video. You got my take. I think you should go watch it. Here's the funny scene, because it kind of spoils. So they poison the turkey. Back to what I was originally going at. They poison the turkey. The people go crazy, except for the one old guy, and all those people die of food poisoning, except for that one old guy. So the main guy that has them there, he's like a cop, or he's pretending to be a cop, and so he's telling everyone. It's kind of funny, because he's acting like everyone around is actors or whatever, and maybe so. But, going about it like, oh, all right, after 6 hours, we all get to go home, because then the movie's going to be over because the audience is dead or not watching anymore. I guess that's also another way of viewing them dying. He's like, all right, everyone could go home. It's like, it's all fake, that body's fake. You shoot me here. Then someone shoots him because he's telling someone to shoot him. And then he tells the guy, it's like, shoot me two more times. And then he doesn't flinch or anything, like nothing happened. And then, like, the other guy comes in and is like, one guy didn't eat the food. And so he's like, oh, my bad, never mind, guys. And he's, like, shot. And then later on in the movie, he must have had, like, a change, because he's, Because my shirt's all bloody. But yeah, that was the funny scene. It was just, he's all nonchalant about it, and he doesn't die. But it's just funny. It's just funny. He's like, shoot me, and he shoots him, and then you see the blood, and it's like, see, I'm fine. I just thought it was funny, or how they went about it was funny. Anyway. I'm not sure if this is going to be like a once a week, or if this is going to be once every while. It's not going to be like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. It's just simply not gonna be that. But whenever I do it, it's gonna go about itself like this. So yeah, I'll see y'all for sure Wednesday when I do Dawn of the Dead for the horror show. And, yeah, I will see y'all next time.